Welcome back to the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. Eddie Lomchek and Pitt State head football coach Tim Beck, live from Chatter's Restaurant and Bar here in the last couple weeks. They've started giving us some things to give away, so if you're here and you haven't registered, be sure and do so. Have a couple of these to give away tonight. A free breakfast at Fat Daddy's, dine-in only, includes drinks, expires at the end of this calendar year. So Coach Beck's going to draw a name out of the bucket here, make it a good one, see who he comes up with. Henry Busett. I suppose come here, Henry, and get your certificate. Henry's earned that after his 74 years of filming Pitt State football. 61, 81, and 91 teams were all here, and Henry was filming then, so that's a guy that's earned that. So we'll draw a couple more a little bit later in the show. So, well, Coach, you do get the toss. Emporia won the toss. You get the ball. They defer 3 and out, and first play of the game's a bad pitch on the back shoulder of your running back, and your first 3 plays net negative 10 yards, and you have to punt it. So you look at the start to the game, just, from a first play standpoint. If you're baseball, you always want to throw a strike, I guess, but not a very good way to start it.
Well, that's the tough thing about it is our coaches spend a lot of time putting together the first first play of the games, and I can't blame anybody but myself for the first play of the game because that was my idea. So. But
to pitch it on the turf?
And not to pitch it on the turf. But second play of the game, too, we're really fortunate the ball wasn't picked for an interception for a touchdown for Emporia because they did a great job of reading that. And they were ready for that because of the set that we did and because we threw it a couple of times against Western. Now, what they weren't ready for was the same play where we went ahead and sent those guys vertical on the go route right before half for a touchdown. So, it's one of those things you sit around as coaches and you debate, and sometimes you talk yourself in and out of things, and we just didn't get off to a great start and had a bad read and had a bad pitch, and next thing you know, we got to punt the ball away.
Yeah, it went in a hurry, and then you know what? So did Emporia right down the field. To their credit, a really nice drive. 7 plays, 63 yards in just under 3 minutes. And the big play you talked on losing a guy in man was a tight end where they roll one way and drag a tight end back the other way and hit him and a big gainer. He's a nice player for them. But talk about just dealing with that offense. So many people have gone no huddle, not necessarily hurry up, but a lot of dink and dunk. They don't give you a chance to get to the passer. A lot of factors defending that quick-paced offense.
Yeah, and those things are frustrating as a defensive lineman. But they did really go at a fast pace coming out in the third quarter. So we had to really be on our toes at that point. But they do a lot of little dink things. Didn't throw the ball down the field very much at all. And if you're committed to doing those things, those can be very difficult to defend. And we were patient defensively as well. Though you got to pick and choose your times when you're going to do things and not get frustrated with it. And a lot of times you have to drive the length of the field. At some point they're going to make a mistake and you put themselves in 2nd and 10, and that's when you want to be pretty aggressive and go ahead and get them to force a punt or we obviously had a few turnovers that were huge as well.
They play 3 different backs. They'll throw to those backs, and then a couple of them are tough guys to bring down as well. How tough is it to prepare for a team? You guys are one of them, I guess, but how tough to prepare for a team that has different running styles?
Well, they do several different things. I felt like after the first drive, our defense really kind of took control of things, but they do a lot of things offensively that can cause you problems. And Emporia is looking at 5 straight home games in a row now. They've got Central Missouri at home, and I really believe they'll beat some people. They've got some athletic guys, and they're not deep at every position, and nobody in the conference is, but they've got some players and they've got some playmakers that can do some things.
And when you talk about playing different backs and people face this with you, how much of your game plan is built around a team and what personnel they have in the game?
Oh, there's definitely a lot of it. I think most defenses now, they're going to call their defense according to personnel groups. And so, I know our defensive guys spend a lot of time making sure we got the right, know exactly what personnel groups on the field. And then according to that, they're somewhat limited sometimes to the formations that they're going to line up in according to their personnel group. So the group that you have on the field is extremely important. The other thing, that we've tried to do, which ends up being tough on people, is bounce back and forth from one personnel group to another. You may go from 4 wide to 2 tight ends and 1 receiver, 2 backs, and jump back and forth, and that really keeps them on their toes because again, there's going to be certain things you do out of certain personnel groups, and only so many formations out of each group.
After they score, you get the ball back, they kick it out of bounds, so you have good field position. You're able to pick up at least a couple of first downs. You have to punt it away, but you pin them at their own 11. That kind of started a trend where field position was a factor, but how helpful is it that, again, you don't have to score, but just get a first down and establish that field position?
Well, I believe that the way our defense is playing right now, punting's not a crime. Obviously, you want to go down and either kick it a field goal or go score, but being able to pin them down there sometimes can really be important too. And so it's important for our punt team to be able to do that, pin them inside the 20, and then, play a little bit of a field position game and let our defense get after them and force them to punt and then go back at it again.
And then, what set you up for that first score, short punt, good return by John Brown. And, I guess kind of an off night for him. He didn't have a touchdown, but still a pretty good night for him with punt returns. And, 3 of them, 12 yards of return. When you talk about your return guys, everybody likes a big play, but, boy, if you can just get 10 or 12 yards, how solid is that?
Oh, it's huge to try to get a first down. That's kind of our goal is let's get a first down with our punt return team. But, he's got an opportunity to really do some things for us, and our punt block team did a much better job. We watched the first one, and, we've got 3 or 4 things we'll call, but the very first one, the ball was punted, and we had everybody locked up in between the slots because they were in a spread punt. We had everybody locked up and probably 3 yards behind on their side of the line of scrimmage because they were in protection mode. And we mugged them and got them locked up back there. And then we were singled up on the gunners, which that's the toughest position and toughest job in the whole game of football is locking up one-on-one on those gunners out there and trying to defend them. So one of those kind of got a hand on him and turned him a little bit, but then he was able to get loose and then wiggle up, for however many yards you got to get us in great field position.
If you one-on-one with those guys and they're going to sit there and jitterbug at the line and try and get upfield quickly, but do you have a rule of thumb, whether it's inside out or outside in on those guys to try and force them one way, or do you let them commit?
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways we do it, and then we also bail a couple people to try to double them on the edge at times. There'll be a point in time where we'll double them from the get-go in the beginning, and that's what you'll see a lot of the NFL teams do, where they'll put 2 out there on the gunners, because it's such a really, really hard job. And sometimes we'll go ahead and press them at the line of scrimmage and basically play like you're playing man coverage on defense and then try to lock up and stay locked up on them the whole way and stay in good position. Or sometimes we may bail and then run to the return man and then turn around and try to get him picked back up. So it's a really tough call to know what to do, and it's a really, really tough to be able to defend those gunners.
Well, from the 32, it took you 4 yards. We heard the touchdown there. Solomon Watkins, an 8-yard run. Starting with that, I guess, he gets a start. Bryson dinged up in the shoulder. As a result, he should be pretty fresh for this week. But talk about that touchdown play. Looked like a little trap pulling under the line there.
Yeah, it's an idea that Coach Rampy and Coach Wells picked up while we were at TCU last year. It's something that we picked up from their goal line package, and we've got a way to kick a guy out and then lead another guy around. So the running back's got an option to go inside or outside. And if they're really hanging in there and you've got a guy that's got some speed, he can take it to the edge, and it makes it tough because they're always wanting to pinch their ends or pinch everybody inside because they don't want you just to run power or whatever up inside. So it's a neat little wrinkle that we've added, and knock on wood, we've had pretty good success running it.
You see Solomon and his ability. Obviously, he's a speed guy. He's pretty well put together. He can be physical. But at times it might seem like he's trying to dance too much. And are there times you like guys like that just to get upfield in the hole?
Well, he can be a physical runner. He's just a little bit different style than some of them. And, when he sees a crease, he likes to accelerate through it. And he's got extremely quick feet. The one play on the goal line where they didn't give him the score, where he was hit about the 4 or 5 yard line, and then he twists and turns, and boy, I felt like he got the ball across the line. Did a great job of extending out and getting it there. But he can be powerful, and the nice thing is we feel comfortable doing anything with him because as an inside runner, if they mess up and there's a crease, he can explode through it pretty good.
Solomon Watkins' first career start, 3 rushing touchdowns for the Gorillas. That was the first of them. We need to take another break. When we come back, the fun starts with trading some turnovers, and then Pittsburgh State pretty productive down the stretch of that first half as well. So that and more when we return to Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric.